The stars were quiet. The black sky was endless. Suddenly, a silver spaceship came crashing through the clouds. It was not flying. It was falling. Inside, a man struggled to stay awake. His name was Ryan Hale, a human pilot from Earth. His mission was to explore a newly discovered planet called Naraka 7. But something went wrong. The ship lost power. The engines died. The system failed. Boom. The ship hit the ground hard. Dust and smoke filled the air. Parts of the ship broke into pieces. Fire and sparks flew. Ryan lay inside the broken ship, bleeding from his forehead. His vision was blurry and his body hurt everywhere. But he was alive. He opened the hatch and stepped outside. The planet was strange, sky purple, trees glowing, ground soft like sponge. The air was thick, heavy, and warm. He tried to breathe, but it was difficult. He looked around. Everything was silent. Too silent. Suddenly he heard voices. Alien voices. Shapes appeared in the fog. Tall creatures with long limbs, glowing eyes, and sharp, smooth armor. They were not robots. They were alive. They surrounded him. One of them stepped forward. She was taller than the others, and her skin shimmered like silver. Her eyes were deep blue. She wore a long robe and held a staff. She spoke, and her voice echoed in Ryan's mind. "You are not welcome here, outsider. This land does not allow unbonded humans." Ryan tried to speak. "Please," I crashed. "I didn't mean to come here. I need help." The alien leader looked at him with cold eyes. "This planet is alive. It rejects your kind. Your body will begin to fail in 3 days. The air will poison you. The ground will burn you. The food will not feed you." Ryan was confused. Then, what should I do? The alien leader raised her staff. "There's only one law. To survive here, you must bond with a native. A life partner. A wife." Ryan's eyes widened. "What? Marriage, not love. A contract. A living bond. Only then will the planet allow your body to stay. Only then will it accept you." Ryan shook his head. I don't understand. What kind of planet does that?" The leader stepped closer. "This planet is not yours to understand. It chooses what lives and what dies." Suddenly, another figure stepped forward from the shadows. A woman, or something like one. She had glowing skin, silver black hair, and soft but sharp features. She was beautiful, but in a dangerous way. Like a knife made of glass. She looked directly at Ryan and spoke for the first time. "I will take him." The other aliens stepped back. The leader looked surprised. "Sarah, you choose him?" The woman, Sarah, nodded. "He crashed near my territory. By ancient law, I claim him." Ryan looked at her, confused and afraid. "Wait, who are you?" Sarah walked up to him and touched his arm. Her hand was warm, her touch soft. But Ryan felt something under her skin, like power or energy. "You can live," she whispered, "but only with me." Ryan looked around. He had no weapons, no tools, no ship. No way to survive alone. The other aliens were watching, judging, waiting. He had no choice. I accept," he said, slowly. The alien leader spoke again. "The bond will begin tonight. Break the bond and you die. Refuse it and the planet will kill you. Remember, you are not one of us. Not yet." Sarah smiled gently. But her eyes hid something dark. "Come, husband," she said. As they walked away into the glowing forest, Ryan looked back at his broken ship. Smoke still rose from it. The stars above were gone now. Hidden by thick clouds, he was truly alone on this world. But something inside him whispered, "You may have survived the crash, but can you survive her?" The forest was quiet. Too quiet. Ryan walked behind Sarah as they moved through glowing trees and strange flowers that opened and closed like breathing lungs. The air was warm, almost alive. It moved like it was watching him. He didn't know where she was taking him. "Where are we going?" he asked. Sarah didn't answer. She walked fast, smooth, like her feet didn't even touch the ground. Her long black hair flowed behind her like shadows. Her silver skin glowed with each step. Finally, they reached a strange structure. It wasn't made of wood or stone. It looked like the trees themselves had grown into the shape of a house. Living walls. A breathing roof. "This is my home," Sarah said softly. "Now it is yours too." Ryan stepped inside carefully. The house was warm and full of soft blue light. Strange plants grew from the walls. Some whispered. Some blinked. One even turned to look at him that he wanted to run. But he remembered the alien leader's words. "Break the bond and you die. Refuse it and the planet will kill you." Sarah turned to face him. "There are 3 rules in this house. Break them, and the planet will know." Ryan's throat went dry. "Rules?" Sarah nodded slowly. "Rule 1, never ask me about my past. Rule 2, never open the door after sunset. Rule 3, never speak your Earth name aloud." Ryan frowned. "Why not?" Sarah didn't answer. She simply said, "The planet listens." He laughed nervously. "That sounds like magic." Her eyes turned cold. "This planet is not magic. It is alive. It hears, feels, remembers. If you do not respect it, it will end you." Ryan stopped laughing. That night, she gave him a drink. It was thick and sweet. As soon as he drank it, his heartbeat slowed. His body felt lighter. The air didn't burn his lungs anymore. He could finally breathe. "This is the bond," Sarah said. "Your body is changing. It will take time. You are not one of us. But you are no longer fully human either." Ryan sat down on a soft bed made of living moss. He looked at her. "Why did you choose me?" Sarah stood still. "Because I had to. Because no one else would." Her answer didn't feel true. But Ryan was too tired to question it. Later that night, he couldn't sleep. The house made sounds like soft breathing, distant footsteps, and whispers that came from nowhere. He remembered Rule 1. Never ask me about my past. But why? What was she hiding? He got up and walked quietly. He found a hallway covered with vines. At the end was a door, old, heavy, and sealed with something glowing. He reached out to touch it. Suddenly, a voice behind him whispered, "That room is not yours." Ryan turned quickly. Sarah stood in the dark, her eyes glowing. He backed away. "Sorry, I didn't mean to." She stepped closer. "That room is locked for a reason. What lives inside does not forget." Ryan's mouth was dry. "Is it dangerous?" She stared at him for a moment, then said quietly, "My last husband thought it was just a room too." His heart stopped. "Wait, you were married before?" Sarah didn't blink. "I told you. Do not ask about my past." She walked away, her silver dress floating like smoke behind her. Ryan stood alone in the dark hallway, heart pounding. He now knew one thing. He was not the first human she had brought here. And maybe he wouldn't be the last. Later, lying on the strange bed, Ryan whispered his name out loud. Just once, Ryan Hawley. The lights flickered, the walls shivered. And from deep inside the locked room, something moved. The next morning, the house was silent again. Too silent. Ryan woke up with a sharp pain behind his eyes. It felt like something was crawling inside his mind. He sat up, breathing hard. The bed beneath him felt like it was pulsing, like it had a heartbeat of its own. Had he really whispered his name last night, or had he only dreamed it? Then he heard it again, movement, not from outside, but from inside the walls. Slow, dragging sounds. A soft scratch like fingers over wood. He stood up and looked toward the hallway. The sealed room at the end still glowed faintly, and the door was slightly open. Sarah was gone. Ryan didn't know where she had gone or how long she'd been gone, but this was his chance. He walked slowly toward the door. His heart was beating fast. His legs felt heavy. He remembered her warning. That room is locked for a reason. What lives inside does not forget. He pushed the door open gently. Inside, the air was cold. Not just cold, wrong. Like it didn't belong to this world. The room was round, dark and full of objects from Earth. A cracked helmet, a human coat, a burnt photograph of a smiling man, someone who looked like him. In the center of the room, there was a chair, and on it, bones, human bones. Ryan's breath caught in his throat. The bones were arranged like someone had once sat there, calm, peaceful, but dead. Suddenly, a whisper echoed from the walls. He broke the bond. He called himself by name. Ryan spun around. Who said that? But there was no one there, only the bones. And then, he saw the writing on the wall, in red. Husband number 1, Earth name, David, refused the bond. Died on day 6. Ryan's legs shook. There was more. Husband number 2, Earth name, James, tried to run. Died on day 3. Underneath that, a blank space. As if waiting for one more name. He stepped back, terrified. Suddenly, crack. The door slammed shut behind him. And Sarah was standing there. Her eyes were not glowing blue anymore. They were black, endless, like space itself. You broke 2 rules, she said quietly. You asked about my past. You spoke your name. Ryan couldn't speak. She walked into the room, standing between him and the door. This room is my truth. These were my husbands. All human, all weak, all afraid. He whispered, you killed them. She shook her head. The planet did. I only watched. They refused to bond fully. They held on to their Earth identity. But this world has no space for outsiders. This world eats outsiders. Her voice was no longer soft. It echoed like thunder inside his skull. Ryan stepped back. So why me? Why pick me? Sarah stared at him. Because I wanted to try again. I wanted to see if one of you could survive. If you could trust me enough to let go of your past. She reached out her hand. You still can. The planet has not taken you yet. But it will, if you keep searching for answers that don't belong to you. Ryan looked at the bones again, then at her, and for the first time, he didn't know if she was protecting him or preparing him. The house didn't whisper, it screamed. In his dreams, Ryan saw the planet open up, roots turning into hands, vines wrapping around human bodies, pulling them underground. He saw faces, lost Earthmen, crying silently, their mouths filled with soil. When he woke up, Sarah was sitting beside him, watching, smiling. Day 3 begins, she whispered. And your name is no longer yours, asterisk. Ryan didn't sleep the next night. He couldn't. The whispers were gone now, replaced by a new sound, breathing. But it wasn't Sarah's. It wasn't his. It came from the walls, from the floor, from under the house. The entire house was alive, not just the plants, not just the rooms. The entire structure was part of the planet itself. Sarah watched him from across the room. Her face was calm, but her eyes were not. You feel it now, don't you? She said quietly. The planet is watching. Ryan nodded slowly. It feels like it's listening. Sarah stood up and walked toward him. Her movements were smooth. Like water. This world is not like Earth, she said. Here, the planet is not just a rock. It has a mind, a memory, and a price. Ryan frowned. A price for what? She looked him in the eyes. For life. Sarah led him to the back of the house, a place Ryan had never seen before. Vines moved aside like doors. Roots split to create a path. The planet opened for her. They entered a dark cavern. The walls glowed faintly, covered in strange markings, symbols, Stories. In the center of the cave was a pool of liquid, thick, black, and moving. This is the heart of the bond, Sarah said. Every native is connected to it. Every human who lives must be accepted by it. Ryan looked down at the pool. He saw something move inside, not a reflection, a memory. His own face, his crash, his fear, his name. The pool whispered it back to him. Ryan! He stepped back. What is this thing? Sarah's voice was firm. This is Naraka, the living soul of the planet. It sees your truth, your past, your fear, and it decides if you belong. Ryan looked at her, shocked. You're saying the planet chooses who lives or dies? She nodded. That's why the bond is not just a marriage. It's a contract with the world. If you bond with me, if you let go of who you were, the planet may keep you alive. He felt cold all over. And if I don't? Sarah looked toward the pool. Then it will remove you, slowly, painfully. You will forget words, then your name. Then your body will stop knowing how to breathe the air. She turned to face him. That's what happened to the others. They kept calling themselves David, James, Thomas, holding on to earth, to pride, to memory. The planet does not like pride. Ryan sat on a stone, shaking. Why does it care what I call myself? Why can't I just live here quietly? Sarah answered in a voice colder than before. Because this world is a being. It remembers the first humans, the ones who came to take, to test, to burn. Now it only allows those who surrender, fully, no names, no past, only the bond. Ryan whispered, but that's not survival, that's erasing who I am. Sarah stepped closer, her face inches from his. Then you must choose, be remembered by Earth, or be kept by this planet. That night, Ryan sat alone in the corner of the living room. He didn't eat, he didn't speak. He looked at the vines on the walls. They pulsed slowly like veins. The lights dimmed and brightened with his breath. Then, the house whispered something new. Not a threat, not a name, but a question. Will you stay? In the morning, Sarah placed a small fruit in front of him. It glowed blue. Eat, she said. It is the first step. Ryan looked at it, then looked at her. What happens if I do? Her answer was soft. Then you begin to forget Earth. Ryan picked up the fruit and held it in his hand. He didn't eat it, but he didn't throw it away either. And outside the house, the ground moved ever so slightly, like the planet was waiting for his answer. The sky cracked open again. Ryan saw it from the edge of Sarah's living forest. A burning trail, like a red finger, tore through the purple clouds. Another ship. Another crash. He wasn't the only one anymore. He waited until Sarah was asleep. Or at least pretending to be. She didn't sleep like humans. Sometimes she stood still for hours. Other times she whispered in a language the walls responded to. But tonight, she lay silent. He left the house. The plants didn't stop him. Maybe they wanted him to go. Maybe they were curious too. He followed the smoke trail across a glowing field and through a sharp valley of jagged black stone. Then he saw it, half buried in the dirt, steam hissing, lights blinking weakly. A human escape pod. Ryan ran toward it. The hatch was stuck. He kicked it open. Inside, someone groaned. A woman. She was bleeding, coughing, eyes barely open. Her flight suit was torn and burnt, but her voice, it was real, human. Help. Please. Ryan pulled her out gently and looked around. We need to move. You're not safe here. They reached the edge of the forest. Ryan had questions, but she looked too weak to speak. He gave her water from a root vine. Her breathing calmed. What's your name? He asked. She hesitated, then whispered, Lisa March. Ryan blinked. He knew that name, not personally, but from a list. She was part of another exploration ship, the Vanguard Project. They had gone missing over a year ago. You were supposed to be dead, he said. Lisa gave a weak smile. Same to you. He led her back to Sarah's home. Quietly, slowly. He didn't know what he was doing. Was he breaking another rule? Probably, but she would die out there. And he couldn't watch another human rot in alien soil. Inside the house, the vines shifted as he entered. The lights flickered. Something in the floor hissed. Ryan whispered to the walls, "Please, let her stay." The house didn't stop him, but it didn't welcome Lisa either. The next morning, Sarah found them. She didn't speak. She just stared at Lisa. Then, for the first time, Lisa stared back, and something passed between them, a recognition. A flicker of old memory. Ryan noticed it. "You two know each other?" Neither answered. Finally, Sarah said one word, "Sister." Ryan's stomach dropped. Lisa looked away. "Not by blood." Sarah corrected her. "No, but by bond." She was supposed to be the one who stayed. Lisa stood up, wobbling on her legs. "You left me behind. You bonded with someone else. You let the planet take me." Ryan stepped between them. "What are you talking about?" Sarah looked at him, eyes calm but deadly. "She was my first choice. The first human I tried to keep. But she resisted. She broke the bond." Lisa's voice rose. "Because it was never real. You tricked me. Just like you're tricking him." Ryan looked from one to the other. "Tricking me into what?" Neither answered. That night, Ryan sat outside, alone. Two humans on a planet that wanted to kill them. One alien woman with two stories, and a planet that fed on memory. Which story was real? He heard soft footsteps behind him. Lisa sat down next. "To him, I wasn't supposed to survive," she whispered. "But something let me go, or maybe it forgot me. I've been wandering, hiding, until I saw the fire in the sky." "Your fire?" Ryan looked at her. "What happens if Sarah finds out you're staying?" Lisa didn't blink. "She already knows." Inside the house, the vines pulled tighter around the walls. The air thickened. And in the deep, locked room, the bones shifted, because now there were two survivors. "And the planet doesn't like choices." Ryan couldn't sleep. Lisa's words echoed in his head. "She tricked me. Just like she's tricking you." And now he wasn't sure if he was changing or being erased. In the dark, he stared at his hands. His skin wasn't fully human anymore. It shimmered faintly like Sarah's. The color under his skin moved. Not blood. Something else. Something alive. He rubbed his arms. They felt soft, but too smooth. Like his body was becoming part of the planet. At dawn, Lisa shook him awake. "We can't stay," she said. "Why?" Lisa looked around the room. The walls had grown tighter, closer. They were no longer flat. They were pulsing like lungs. "Breathing faster. She knows I'm not leaving. She'll kill me. Or worse, she let the planet take me again." Ryan hesitated. "She's not like that," he said. "She wants to protect us." Lisa grabbed his arm. "No, she wants to keep you. There's a difference." They ran before the house woke up. The forest outside wasn't the same. The trees twisted toward them. The ground made no sound when stepped on. The flowers turned to watch. And then the vines began to follow. The planet had noticed. Lisa led him toward a mountain ridge. "There's a tunnel up ahead. I think it leads underground, away from her reach." But Ryan was slowing down. His breath was steady, but too steady, not like a human. His vision was sharper. He could see the ridges on Lisa's fingerprints. He touched a tree, and it responded, curling its leaves around his fingers like it knew him. Lisa noticed. "Your body's adapting," she whispered. "You've bonded too far." Ryan stepped back. "What if I haven't? What if I can still undo it?" She shook her head. "No one who changes this much goes back." Suddenly, the ground cracked open. Not an earthquake, a reaction. The planet had made its move. Vines exploded from the soil, grabbing Lisa's legs, pulling her down. She screamed. Ryan rushed to help. He pulled, fought, tore the vines. Lisa cried out, "Don't touch them with bare hands." Too late. The moment Ryan's skin touched the vine, he felt it, a shock of memory. Not his a single quotes as he saw her first bond. The first human. Her failure. Her loneliness. Her punishment from the planet. Her choice to become more than a native. To become part of the planet itself. Ryan stumbled back, shaking. He looked at his hands. They were glowing now. Lisa stood, bleeding. "You felt it, didn't you?" Ryan nodded slowly. She wasn't lying. But she wasn't telling the whole truth either. Lisa's voice cracked. She was made into this. She chose to become the planet's voice. Ryan looked at her. "I think I'm becoming that too." They reached the tunnel. Cold air rushed from below. Safe, maybe. Dark, definitely. They entered. Inside, the walls were stone, real stone. Not living roots. Lisa lit a torch from her suit pack. It flickered weakly. Ryan leaned against the wall. His heart wasn't beating. Not like before. He placed his hand on his chest. No thump. Just a pulse. A rhythm that matched the planet's breath. Lisa turned toward him. "Ryan, if we keep going, you might die. If you go back, you'll lose yourself." He looked up at her. "Or maybe I already did." Back in the forest, Sarah stood beside the empty house. She placed her hand on the living wall. "He chose," she whispered. The vines calmed. The ground stopped moving. But the bones in the sealed room turned to dust. The tunnel went deeper than they thought. Down, into the bones of the planet. There were no sounds here. No wind, no whispers, no breathing walls. Just silence. And cold. Lisa walked ahead with the torch. Ryan followed, slower now. Something inside him had changed. He no longer felt pain in his legs. His heartbeat had vanished 2 hours ago. He hadn't needed air since they entered the cave. Still he walked. But each step made him feel less human. Finally, the tunnel opened into a wide chamber. Natural stone. Black, dry. Safe. Lisa turned to face him. "You need to decide," she said. "Now." Ryan leaned against the wall. "Decide what?" She stepped closer. "You've bonded too far. Your body can survive out there. Mine can't. But if we leave this place, if we reach the crash site and send a signal, Earth might find us." Ryan didn't answer. She touched his arm. "You're not gone, Ryan. Not yet." He looked at her hand on his skin. Her touch felt distant, cold. "Earth," he whispered. The word tasted strange. "It feels like a dream now." Lisa's face darkened. "You can still choose it. You don't owe her anything." Ryan looked up at the stone ceiling. "But I feel her inside. Me. Not just Sarah. The planet. It's like I'm a voice in a much bigger body." Back in the forest, Sarah sat on her knees in the house. The vines around her were silent. She was listening, waiting. "I saw her memories," Ryan said. "She didn't want this. She fought it. But the planet doesn't give options. It only gives ownership." Lisa stared at him. "Then let's beat it. Let's do what no one else has done. Escape." Ryan shook his head. "Maybe no one escaped because no one wanted to. Not after the bond." He turned to her. "What if surviving here means becoming part of it? Not as a prisoner, but as something greater?" Lisa backed away. "No, that's not survival. That's giving in. That's extinction." Ryan paused. Then smiled sadly. "Or evolution." Suddenly, the torch flickered. The ground trembled. The walls cracked slightly. Lisa looked around. "What was that?" Ryan's eyes were glowing softly. "Now, it's calling me." Back at the house, the roots parted. Sarah stood up. She whispered, "He hears." Ryan turned to Lisa one last time. "You can go," he said. "You're still human. You still belong to Earth." Lisa's voice cracked. "And what about you?" He smiled. "I think I found where I belong. Not on Earth, not in the stars. But here, between them, inside something older than both. Lisa stepped back, eyes wet. You were the last good one. I thought maybe we'd survive together. He nodded. We did. Just not in the same way. Ryan walked away, back up the tunnel, toward the light above. And the planet opened for her. Him. No resistance. No vines. Just acceptance. Lisa sat in the cave for a long time, holding the torch. Then she pulled out the beacon from her belt. The signal to Earth. She stared at it, pressed a button, and waited. Above in the living forest, Sarah stood at the edge of the field. Ryan stepped out from the trees. His skin shimmered fully now. His eyes no longer had pupils, just starlight. He looked different, but he still remembered her, and she smiled. Welcome back. Ryan walked to her. I chose. She nodded. So did I. A long time ago. They stood together, not as man and woman, not as human and alien, but as parts of a living world. The planet sighed with relief. The bond was complete. Far above, in cold space, a small blue signal blinked into the stars. A whisper from the ground. Someone survived. But Earth would never know what it cost.